we have not, but the audit reports of the Ministry of Tourism, serious issues there. It's with the police right now. So there's a serious political argument there. If they have to question the minister, how would that go? But I know the audit report is there. Very serious revelations out there. The Ministry of Health.
Okay.
Also, in fact, the police were there at one point to question personnel, very senior personnel. I just want to end there. We do know that. We have those reports and we'll be working on them.
Okay.
But also, the RVTH, when the board chairman came up and said there were a lot of serious mismanagement there. In fact, when he said that the minister went on a political platform and tried to dismiss, to say that guy is angry and all that, I think Samateh, Samateh is one of those people I have so much respect for. I don't talk about him because I think he's a very good medical doctor and he deserves our respect. But sometimes the way he speaks about issues when they come out, I think he needs to, because when these things come out, you don't dismiss them for political reasons. We all know Dr.
If I may come in, there is
Yeah.
a distinction. You can have somebody who is a good at something else,
Medical doctor,
and
but he's
bad.
not
Yeah,
a good.
From all indications I understand, he's a great doctor.
He's a great doctor.
And I have no reason to doubt that. So
Yes.
even though I don't know him, I
Yeah.
will take people's word at that.
Yeah.
But from what we understand, if you ask me today, is he a good minister? I would say no.
Wow.
Because you have to judge people, not not based on some reputation in if you have no other information on them, go on by the information you have.
Yeah.
But now he has been minister for several years. And we know what has been happening in the health sector.
Yeah.
We know what happened with the COVID funds. We know what happened in RVTH. We have a lot of information from there.
In fact, this audit report has to do with all of that.
Exactly.
I remember when Mulligan came out and did the story about the ambulances. They went after Mustafa and they said so many things.
Exactly.
In fact, we reproduced that story and some of my friends at the ministry called me to say, Fatu, this and that and that. I said, look, we trust Mulligan, so we reproduced the story. But the audit report is flagging all of those things, the
Indeed.
ambulances.
Yeah.
The prices they bought those ambulances, I remember they even issued a statement, But the audit report is flagging all of that and so
Indeed.
many other issues.
Indeed.
Again, when the director of the board of chairman of the RVTH came out and said certain things, the minister was quick to dismiss it and label him as being angry, and he said certain things about him. Even that alone shows that the minister was not in charge, because if you are saying this about your board chair, that tells us about your leadership too.
Yep.
And I was like, no, Samateh should not have said that. But they promised to do an investigation at the RVTA. The investigation is ready. Where is the report?
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that report. Yeah. And the Minister of Finance told us that before at the RVTH, they were making 2 million or something, but now when they brought the bank system, they're making almost they are tripling their numbers. What does that tell us? And all of these things are happening, no consequences, Dr. Gajigo. And I can tell you, we are waiting to see what is happening with the audit report of the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Health and the RVTH, because we know, especially the Ministry of Tourism one and the Ministry of Health is with the police. And they have started working on it, but then again, they're like, they're trying to bring certain things into it. I'm going to wait until our report is ready. But these are serious issues, and the government is not saying anything. But we saw what happened at RVTH. No, what happened at BCC. They took the entire staff on leave because of an audit report. But in audit departments, you don't do that. This is why some of us will always say selective justice. Yeah. Look, if you're doing this by BCC, do it at Minister of Justice, do it at Health, do it everywhere where it is happening.
Exactly.
And then we will say you are serious.
Exactly.
But if you're doing it in one area and you're doing it, not doing it in the other area, that brings a lot of doubts. I think these are things that we should, the government should take seriously. We should not condone corruption. But
no, absolutely not.
Across the board.
No, basically it just shows that, listen, and I tell people, it's easy to, just by seeing an incident of somebody getting arrested or dismissed, people to start talking about now they are getting serious about corruption. Yeah. You see, even people who are incompetent, they are smart enough to know what the concept of a safety valve, that when the pressure gets too high, do a little bit here to relieve the pressure. Just like when I revealed the issue about that clause that prevented this, the public pressure on the government got too high. People were they felt like they had to release pressure a bit. That's what they say, let us release one document quickly, release a statement that will at least calm things down. This is the way to also interpret this government's action. Once in a while, there'll be somebody who's of no political or consequence to the president. And when they need to throw a bone to the public, they will just throw somebody overboard. It happened with Dr. Banja. When, the minister who was implicated there wasn't touched. But there's they sacrificed the one guy. It's the same thing. This government here, if they are serious about corruption, there are some people who will not even be in government to begin with. Let's take the case of Pura that regulates NAWEC and others. Who is the head now? You brought in Njoguba to now oversee not only NAWEC, so NAWEC will be regulated by Pura and also Gamtel. All of these things. It's a very important institution. Yet here is this somebody who has a fake degree, who basically has been found by a Jani Commission, a commission of inquiry, to be, very, as any definition go, probably one of the most incompetent public officials anywhere, has no integrity, completely, has been involved in mismanagement of all sorts of funds. They were given a simple thing, given money to go and buy a ferry. They went and bought something that was so old and decrepit. It is Al-Jamdu ferry. It's still parked by the port. It was never used. In any other country, they'll put you in jail for such a financial malpractice. Given everything we know about Njoguba's incompetence and financial malfeasance and illegal activities he did under the Jammeh regime, you go and reward that guy with a post as important as the head of Pura. Do you think that government cares about transparency, public propriety, honesty, and fighting of corruption? No. So the few incidences where the police get involved, it means either one of few possibilities. Either the evidence is so overwhelming, they just can't hide it. They can't camouflage anybody. They just have to let things happen. Or there is somebody there who is politically inconvenient and this who is no longer politically useful, and that report provides a political a very convenient way of getting rid of that person. Then he becomes sacrificed along the way. And there's all sort of bureaucratic infighting, because many of these people in the government close to the president, what you don't see is every single day they are fighting among themselves. There is a serious fight. They are so busy fighting among themselves, they have no time to run the country. So, at any point in time, if you see somebody being exposed in some corruption, know that that person lost a bureaucratic fight. But if his connection to the president is strong enough and he didn't lose a fight, doesn't matter how many wrong things he's doing in the country, he would never suffer for it. This is the reality here. So, which is why some audit reports sometimes that are where the amount missing is so small, they'll get a lot of attention. Things that are so more massive and more consequential for the country's development, nobody even talks about it. Did you hear about any police looking at the NAWEC audit reports? No. Because what is the president doing? He's actually promoting the manager of NAWEC to minister. I know the guy, Nani, but that's not going to prevent me from telling the truth. Nani should have answered for all of the bad things that happened in NAWEC before being promoted. So this issue here, goes beyond individuals or friendship or anything. The job that is being done at NAWEC, I have to be. I'm not putting all of the blame on management. Yeah. As I said, it's a policy failure, strategic failure, oversight problem and management problem. But each and every one of those people occupying those positions are all adults, and the failure falls at the responsibility. That failure falls under their feet, and they almost take responsibility. But the ultimate responsibility is at the level of the president. The NAWEC MD cannot fire the president, but President can fire the NAWEC MD.
The buck stops at the president.
Exactly. So the ultimate responsibility is at the level of the leadership here. So all of these corruptions, all of this mismanagement that is happening, ultimately, whether it's in health, whether it's in tourism, all of those ministers, who do they report? Yes. And then what happened to the Minister of Tourism? He got promoted. Minister of Health, he's still there. Maybe they also even need to start looking at the Ministry of Works. So all of these works that are happening there, if you do scrutiny, all these problems you find in other ministries, you will find it at Ministry of Infrastructure and Works.
I'll try to get the Ministry of Works audit report. It will be interesting to look at those audits.
I don't know whether it exists or not.
Yeah.
Because infrastructure, issues NAWEC, we don't have the financial statements for since 2020, we don't have it. If you go to the GPA, Gambia Post Authority, there's not a single financial audited report on their website.
One thing I'm interested in is to look at the audit report of the OIC summit. That would be interesting to look at. I look forward to doing that.
Yes.
Hopefully by next year or so, it will be
if it's ever out.
It should be out.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO said they are ready to be audited. That's what they said.